Let's talk about how to pass the UBS video interview for 2024. What's up guys, it's Mike from Job Ready English here with another video to help you get hired. Today we're going to be talking about the Swiss banking giant UBS and how you can pass their first round video interview. What can you expect when you're hiring for UBS? It's generally going to be a 3-round process where you submit your application, your CV, your cover letter if that's required in your country, and then you will be asked to sit online tests. Afterwards, you will have a first round interview. This could be video, telephone, or face-to-face. We're going to be concentrating on UBS's video interview, which is done through Hirevue. And then afterwards, you would have an assessment center if you're a graduate, or you're going to have a final interview with somebody in the team if you are a professional looking to work at UBS. So first of all, who is UBS? Well, one thing that you should know about UBS and Swiss banking in general is that it's famed for its privacy and the number of billionaires that Swiss banks serve. In UBS's case, they serve over half of the world's 2,000 billionaires. And UBS was really put on center stage in 2023 when it took over its competitor and close rival Credit Suisse. In 2016, UBS was one of the first European banks to innovate and introduce blockchain technology. UBS can trace its 170-year history all the way back to 1862, with the founding of the bank in Winterthur, which was known as the Union Bank of Switzerland. UBS's 3 key logos symbolize the company's values of confidence, security and discretion. And UBS's employees are engaged in sustainability efforts which involve donating over 7,000 hours of voluntary work and contributing to 118 different communities and community groups across the globe. So what can you expect from a UBS Hirevue video interview? We put together 7 of the most common questions that we came across in our research from candidates who had successfully passed the interview and also accepted an offer at UBS. And this is just a small part of the up-to-date information that you can get from the UBS Pass the Interview pack down in the link in the description below. Now, if you're not familiar with Hirevue video interviews, they're basically one-way video interviews where you're asked a question on the screen, you're asked to record your answer, and then you're given a set amount of time to think about what answer you're going to deliver. In the case of UBS, we found that interviews range from between 4 to 7 questions. Always you were given 2 minutes to answer and 2 minutes to think. If you're thinking how many words is that going to be in your scripts for each of your answers, it's going to be about 200 words. Most people, I tend to set the rate of speech at about 100 words per minute. Anything over 125 words per minute tends to go a bit too quickly. So what about these questions? Let's dive into the 7 most common questions that we came across for UBS's video interview. Question number 1, why UBS? So whenever you're answering a why this company question, always think about getting your 5 fast facts together. Now I gave you 6 or 7 different facts from UBS, and in fact in our Pass the Interview pack we put together over 90 different facts that you could use. But quite simply, just take the time, 15 minutes to go to the company's website and research facts that interest you. It could be financials, it could be technology that UBS is using, it could be about their community, social or environmental governance projects. Whatever it is that interests you to show that you've really done your research into the company. Question number 2, tell me about a time you worked in a team. Now this is a competency-based question, so we're going to be looking to answer this using the STAR format, which is situation, task, action, result. Now when you're working through this, bearing in mind that the majority of your answer should be based around the action that you took. This is really the thing that's going to demonstrate the competence or the skill. So you're looking for about 70% of your answer to be based in the action. And when you're recounting the situation that you're in and the task that you had to do, you're going to want 4 or 5 different points which really emphasize that you understand good teamwork. So that could be good communication, meeting up, discussing your project, making sure your part of the work is done, helping others with the things that they had to do, helping with resolving issues or overcoming hurdles that you might come across. For example, somebody not able to do their work, somebody having a technical issue, or somebody just having a change of circumstances, which means they can't contribute as much as they would have liked to. What this means is when you put your answer together, you give a really good demonstration of being able to do this skill in real life. Competency questions are really common for all first round interviews, I would say, and you want to make sure that you have your star stories together. If you don't know what star stories are, then make sure you check out our Past the Interview pack, where we show you how to organize all of these in a really easy and simple format, so you can just have a couple of stories ready that are good to go for whatever interview you've got coming up. Question number 3, why do you want to work for a bank? Really interestingly, when I was going through the memories for UBS, a lot of candidates were really stressing about the need for some form of commercial awareness and also good knowledge about banks. So what is it that really interests you about working for a bank? Is it about problem solving, working under pressure, working with talented people, being involved with the financial markets, being involved with game changers who are helping to drive things that are happening in different countries? What I'd say to you is have 2 or 3 really strong reasons and link this back to your personal experience. Maybe you have read about banking in Bloomberg, Reuters or CNBC. Maybe you've been part of a society where you're engaged in some sort of asset management, investment management. Maybe you've done a bit of trading in your spare time to do with stock, shares and bonds. Whatever it is, make sure you really demonstrate this experience and why it's important for you. Very often where I tend to find that people go wrong is that they'll just reel off a list of reasons, but they won't really demonstrate any experience or the reason why they really like this thing. Question number 4, what is an interesting financial topic that you have recently read about? Now, a lot of people are drawn towards working for investment banks and they're really attracted by the money that they're going to be paid. Let's have it right. So something that you really want to think about before you're going into an interview with UBS, or if you're thinking about applying for any investment banks, is just make sure you're keeping up to date with business news. Now you can do that through a daily newsletter from Bloomberg. You could do that through putting on the TV every weekend and just watching a little bit of CNBC. What I don't recommend that you do is apply and have no knowledge about what's going on in the markets, what's a financial product that you like, what's your favorite stock, what's something that's going on at the minute in terms of inflation rate or interest rates, and not really being able to explain basic financial terms. A really good starting place for anybody who's watching this and thinks, well, I didn't study banking or finance, just going to something like Investopedia or BBC Business News or taking a basic finance course through Coursera is a really good and simple thing to do, just to have a foundational knowledge of what it is that you're going to be doing in banking and in finance. Question number 5, tell me about a recent piece of business news and how it has affected the markets. Now, going back to my answer about the previous question, you always want to think about what is the topic or piece of news that you could talk about in an interview. I suggest that you pick something that is microeconomic rather than macroeconomic, so it's based around a singular event or a company, because I tend to find that if you're trying to talk about a macroeconomic issue, for example, a trade war or the inflation rate, you're going to find it really difficult to try and condense that into 2 minutes. So when you're talking about a microeconomic issue, say something that's happened with a company recently, try to think about how you would explain that to a 5-year-old. What is it that happened? Why is it important? And what is your advice or your opinion? What is something that you could do based upon this that would help a client of yours or help an internal team that you're trying to advise, because that's your specialism or your area of interest? And this is something that you can probably keep with for the next 3 months or so. And then you might want to refresh your story, but making sure that you're keeping up to date with business news and what's going on in a very general way. So for example, using something like BBC Business News is enough when you're talking about a first round interview. Question number 6, what are your biggest strengths and weaknesses? So if you're answering this question in entirety in 2 minutes, it's really quite challenging. I would suggest that you would pick 2 strengths and 1 weakness. The strength is really saying, well, I'm a really good problem solver, and then you want to provide the proof that demonstrates that you're a good problem solver? Well, what experience that you have that would demonstrate to me as a stranger that you're good at solving problems? When you're choosing a weakness, all you really need to do is think about something that you weren't good at and you learned a lesson from. So for example, that could be at a time that you were a student and you were disorganized and you almost missed the deadline for handing in an essay. That's fine. What did you learn from that? So I learned to be more organized with my time. I learned to keep a diary. I learned to block out my schedule. I learned to put my phone in airplane mode. Whatever it is, however that has helped you, this isn't just about pointing out something that's glaringly wrong. It's just having the self-awareness to look at it and say, this is something that I haven't been great at, but I've learned to be better at this by doing X. Question number 7, what is your understanding of the role? Now, whenever you're talking about why this job, what is your understanding of the role, what would you do in this job, these are really the same type of question. So what we're looking for here is a two-part answer. Number 1, just tell me what you do in the job. So the way that you're going to do this is basically saying, as an operations analyst, as an investment manager, as an asset management analyst, I would do, and just reel off the tasks that you'd be expected to do day to day. And you can find all of this from the job description. If it's not very helpful for UBS, then you can find this somewhere else. Lastly, you're going to want to talk about 2 or 3 key skills that are really going to make you good for doing this job. So that could be good problem solving skills, good skills of Excel, good teamwork skills, and then just provide a brief sentence to demonstrate why are you good at this thing. Always think to yourself, when I'm delivering an opinion about myself, what is the proof to back this up? Guys, I hope that you've enjoyed this video from our new office, and I wish you the best of luck with your UBS video interview, and I'll see you next time. Bye.